Why am I here? What's my purpose? And if everything ends anyway, why should I even care? These aren't just random questions. They haunted one of the greatest writers in history, Leo Tolstoy. Even after achieving everything most people dream of, fame, wealth, family, and literary immortality, Tolstoy found himself trapped in a crisis he couldn't escape. A man who wrote War and Peace and Anna Karenina was silently falling apart inside. For most of his life, Tolstoy lived as if happiness was guaranteed. But around the age of 50, something broke. He began to feel a crushing sense of emptiness, a feeling that everything he had achieved suddenly meant nothing. Success didn't help. Family didn't help. Even his own genius didn't help. Tolstoy entered what he described as an intellectual and spiritual crisis. Sleep became his only escape, because only in sleep did the questions stop. What is life? Why do we exist? And what happens after death? He even admitted that during this period, he had to trick himself into not ending his own life. Tolstoy tried everything to find meaning: philosophy, science, religion, ideology, but nothing satisfied him. To him, philosophy often ended in despair, and science reduced humans to meaningless accidents of nature. The more he searched, the worse it got. Then he reflected on a parable. A man is chased by a wild beast. He falls into a well, only to find a dragon below. Hanging between certain death above and below, he clings to a branch. But then he notices something strange: honey on the leaves. And for a moment, he forgets the danger and tastes the sweetness. Tolstoy saw himself in that man. The beast above was life's suffering. The dragon below was death. And the honey? Those small moments that keep us going. But the question remained: is that enough to live for? Tolstoy observed 4 ways people deal with life's absurdity. First, ignoring it, just living, without thinking too deeply. Second, pleasure and indulgence, chasing comfort, wealth, and distraction. Third, giving up entirely. And fourth, a passive existence, knowing life feels meaningless, but doing nothing about it. Tolstoy observed 4 ways people deal with life's absurdity. First, ignoring it, just living, without thinking too deeply. Second, pleasure and indulgence, chasing comfort, wealth, and distraction. Third, giving up entirely. And fourth, a passive existence, knowing life feels meaningless, but doing nothing about it. But Tolstoy rejected all of these. Ignoring the problem wasn't possible for him. Pleasure didn't last, and despair wasn't an option he could accept. Even passive existence felt like a living death. Everything changed when he began observing ordinary people, especially the poor. Despite suffering, they had something he didn't: faith. Not intellectual answers, not philosophy, but a simple, deep belief that life had meaning beyond what they could see. Tolstoy came to a difficult conclusion: reason alone wasn't enough. If life was only logic, then it truly had no meaning. But faith, belief in something greater than himself, gave life purpose beyond suffering and death. Slowly, Tolstoy changed. He simplified his life. He gave away much of his wealth. He focused on helping others and living with humility. He didn't find perfect answers, but he found peace. Leo Tolstoy died in 1910 at the age of 82. But his greatest battle wasn't on paper. It was inside his own mind. A battle between meaning and emptiness that almost broke him. And somehow, he found a way through.